Hello crafty friends, my name is Linda Dolke. I'm a demonstrator with Stampin' Up! In Australia, and today I'm joining you as a member of the Global Video Hop group, and we have some fabulous projects for you this month. This month is all about texture, and I'm looking forward to creating something really cool with you here this morning. This is very, very basic. I'm actually going to start with, I'm going to go very simple with my texture. There are so many ways to add texture to your projects, and you'll see some of the other girls in this group have tackled completely different ways to do that. I'm using a few different textural elements, and so let's go. I'm going to fold my piece of Pool Party cardstock. Now this is half a sheet of A4 cardstock folded in half again to make my card base. If you are in the US and you have letter size cardstock, same thing, you cut half your sheet into half and then fold it in half again, and then you have your card base ready to go. Let's set that aside and let's go. I have used this month the Country Woods paper. Now this is a basic DSP that has lots and lots of different textures and wood grains. So if you're looking at texture, this is a really, really great place to add, or really simple way to add texture without going to any great difficulty, or, you know, the texture is already embedded in the paper itself. It's just beautiful. Now this paper at the time that I'm recording this is actually on sale this month. So all of our designer series papers, the standard designer series papers in the annual catalogue, are currently 15% off. So this is a really great time to jump in and talk about it, and hopefully if you need some or want some, you'll be able to get it at the cheaper price. So that's pretty cool. Now I think particularly texture is something that works really well for masculine cards. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm doing a masculine card. I'm actually going to use the lighter side of this paper, and I am going to, just thinking I should have actually got the pack of paper out to show you the whole pack, shouldn't I? Never mind. It is just behind me, so I will grab it in just a moment once I get this glued down. So I'm gluing this onto a slightly larger piece, a mat of Pretty Peacock cardstock. Now my mat is 10 centimeters wide by 14.3 long, and the wood grain piece is 9.5 centimeters wide by 13.8. Okay, so one fits neatly inside the other. Now, here's the paper. Let's have a very quick look at it. This is not a full pack because I've already used so much of it, but I hope that you'll get a feel for it. All different kinds of wood grains. You know, some just wood, some are painted, some have got like peeling paints, like this one here. Looks super good. My favorite one is actually, in the whole pack, is Pool Party peeling paint on a wood grain background, and I think that's really stunning. Yeah, so many nice papers. Look at this. It's very beachy, kind of driftwoody. I love that. This one has a dark grain on the back, and then this one has like your multicolored pieces, like painted pieces. And this is like Misty Moonlight with peeling paint. Super, super nice. This is the one I like. This is a small piece of my favorite one. The one I said was Pool Party peeling paint. And that's got a nice simple grain on the back. So these are really, really great for any kind of card, really great for scrapbooking, but I love them particularly for masculine cards, and that's what I'm doing here today. So let's add, that's our first layer of texture. Let's pop that right there. And then I've got a focal point that is going to be here on the front. Okay, now I'm going to add texture to this one as well, and this one I'm going to add texture by using an embossing folder. So I've decided to use Dashing Designs. You could use any embossing folder that is, all the embossing folders will add beautiful texture to your paper, and you can see what that looks like. Now this is a 3D folder, so that means I'll be using it through my machine with my specialty plates. So I'm going to bring that in and show you. Okay, so I've got my machine here. These are my standard plates. I'm actually going to take off all these, and I'm just going to have my base plate, which is number 1. We're going to pop that in, and then we're going to do our piece of paper that's inside the folder, pop that straight onto that base plate, and then use our specialty plate, number 4, over the top. Okay, and with a 3D folder, you will need this sandwich. Okay, base plate, embossing folder, 3D embossing folder, and then the specialty plate on top. Okay, so very, very easy to do. You just need to get rid of all your clear plates and off you go. All right, remove that. Okay, so let's open that up. Now we've got all this beautiful texture. It's very tactile. It makes you want to touch it, right? And that's the thing I find with very textured cards. You want to just touch them. So the measurements on this one, let me just remind myself. This is 6.5 by 10.5. 6.5 by 10.5. So this one is 6 by 10, okay, and that fits neatly inside there. And I'm going to glue that down. You can use any glue you like for this process. It really doesn't matter. All right, let's have a look there. Just line that up in the middle. Right, okay, so this is going to go here in the middle of this, and you can see we've got, just by using a couple of different textural elements, it really comes together really well, really quickly. All right, then I'm going to put some dimensionals behind this. Let's grab those, just one on each corner. Always put your dimensionals in a little bit from the corner. You don't want them poking out from underneath. That's kind of going to spoil the look of your card, so always pull them in a little bit from the edges. And then I'm going to remove the backs. So you can see this is a very simple card. Now we could go, we could make this landscape or portrait. In fact, I haven't even decided which. I was originally going to go portrait, but I haven't even decided if I definitely want to do that. So, like so. Do we want it that way or do we want it this way? All right, so I've got a piece here. This is, and even having these dots around the edges, that just adds a little bit more texture as well. This is from the Everyday Details set. And then I'm going to use on this, I'm going to use Happy Birthday, but I've added it. I've cut myself some pretty peacock words from the Wanted to Say dies. So I've used quite a few different sets and just pulling it. I could stamp, of course. I could stamp it, and if I was going to go, if I'm going to go landscape, then I could probably put that, you know, on one end and have that going across like this, all right, which actually looks quite good, all right. If I'm going to go with portrait, it probably matters less, and I would probably want that to go across the center. So, oh, I don't know. Anyway, before we do that, let's add a little bit more texture to this piece. All right, now could we run it through an embossing folder? Yes, we could, but we've already got some embossing here and I don't want to add too much of that. So instead, I'm going to add some stamping, and this time I'm going to use a stamp set called Of Art and Texture. And as the name suggests, this is an online exclusive one, which means you can, it's not in a catalogue. You won't find it there. You'll find it online in the online store, or you can reach out to your demonstrator if you think you want it. It reminds me a little bit of the old Gorgeous Grunge. Do you remember that one? That was one of my favourite all-time sets. Fantastic for adding all kinds of textural elements to your cards. Super, super nice. Well, we're going to do that a little bit with this. And because I've got some Pool Party in here, I'm going to use Pool Party over this. And I'm using this like squares of texture. I'm going to run that over this little, and it doesn't matter where you put it. It's very forgiving. It doesn't care. Neither do we. And we've just got this kind of textural look to the back now. Okay, any of these texture stamps would work over this. I also love this splotchy, like the one that looks like a splatter. I really love that one. I think that's really nice. And I'm going to use these more on another card at some point in some of my other videos. All right, so now that we've got this, and I'm thinking we might go with this landscape. I think I'm feeling landscape today. All right, so happy. And then we want to have birthday going across here. So it's kind of behind, it's got this element behind it. Okay, so let's add some. Now, if I was really smart, which clearly I'm not, I would have added some adhesive sheets behind these when I was cutting them out. But I always forget, I have a tendency to forget to do that. So I'm just going to, oh good, the garbage truck's coming by my house right now. Sorry about that. It's that time of the day on a Thursday when our garbage man comes and picks up our rubbish. All right, so I'm going to pop this with a few dots of Tombow. You don't have to do the whole thing, just a few dots here and there. And we're going to pop that right behind here. I'm not even going to center it. I'm not even going to try. I'm going to have that kind of off to one side there. Happy. And then this one, I'm actually going to put this on first because then I'll work out where I want the birthday to go. So let's add some dimensionals behind here. Now, adding dimensionals also adds texture. All right, so that's creating, you're not going to end up with just a plain old flat card as long as you're using dimensionals. And so I think on a textural card, they have a definite part to play. So let's, all right, that's looking kind of nice. And I'm going to have this one going off on this side. So I only want to have the birth part, have the day part doesn't need to. Now the only thing is, just realized that means that I'm not going to have, that the day part will probably be either flatter down or, I've got an idea. Okay, all right, so I'm going to put the glue behind the birth part, not the whole thing, because I don't want to have it going flat. When this is already up on dimensionals, I don't want to have this part down flat. So I'm just going to do a few dots of glue at this end. And I'm going to leave that bit floating. Like it kind of looks like it's floating, right? And then we're going to have that. Trust me, trust this process. It's going to be okay, I promise. All right, so don't worry about this. All right, I'm also going to use, these are also from the Wanted to Say dies. If anyone's wondering about these are in our annual catalogue. And you've got all these, you know, happy birthday. There is actually a happy birthday piece that goes behind this that I could have used to outline this, which would have probably been a good idea because that also gives you more room to put dimensionals behind. But that's okay, I didn't think of doing that. I have, however, used these little stars, and there's 2 pages. These are really great little dies. There's a Feel Better Soon, and what else is there? There's a Celebrate. There's a few different sayings in there and some nice little hearts and stars and flowers and things. So I'm actually going to add some of these. I've cut some of these little stars in silver foil, and I'm going to have a few different places that I want these to appear. So I'm actually going to have some that go behind here. All right, so these guys are big enough that I can get probably a mini dimensional, maybe 2, behind a couple of the stars. So let's grab a couple of the mini dimensionals. I'm going to pop one right here, take the back off that, and then another one behind there and take the back off that, and that's all you need, just 2 will be enough to hold it. All right, so let's pop that behind here so it's just kind of sitting over the edge. Now we can adhere the Y here to the stars. So let me just add a couple of drops of Tombow right there, and I'm going to hold that down for a second to make it adhere. So this card has almost no stamping. I would almost call it a no stamping card, but I did add some stamps, some texture stamps to the background there. So look, it's looking good. So this one now needs a mini dimensional as well. Let me grab one here and take the back off that. Maybe 1, maybe 2. I think 1 might be enough. And it's going to go over that corner. That looks really good, doesn't it? And then maybe another one. Maybe another one coming out from behind here. I like that idea. I think that'll look good. Yep, I think so. Now, you don't have to do that. My Y hasn't stuck down yet. Why? Why are you not sitting down? All right. I'm going to put these ones on flat. So I've got these 2 on dimensionals. This one's I'm just going to add a bit of Tombow behind because it's going to sit behind my circle. So just a couple of little dots of Tombow there. And let's pop that right about there and stick it down. Looking good. What do you think? I like how this is coming together. It's fun. All right, so now on the back of here, I'm going to add some Tombow. We're not quite done. We're almost done. So we have a number of textural elements on this card. One of the things I like when you're looking at adding texture, try and add things that make it more tactile. So things that look like they'd be fun to touch. And I think this card has got a couple of those, particularly the embossing folder. I love how that feels. All right, and don't forget, texture is great for male cards, masculine cards. All right, so this is coming together really nicely. The last thing I want to add is some bling. So if you wanted to add some texture, we've got these great, I've only got a few left, but these are the Adhesive Backs textured dots. They're from the Wildflower Designs or Wildly Flowering suite. They've got, I hope you can see it, cool texture on top here. Isn't that gorgeous? And so you can add these to this. However, you don't have to add any because we do have these starry elements that kind of make you think of bling anyway. So this is an optional thing. If you want to add these, you might think it's over the top. Let me just decide where I want to add them. I think I want to have one over here. I do like them. These are cool. And then maybe a couple of little guys over on this side. One here, and then maybe one up here. Let's try that. Move this one down a bit in that case. And there we go. There's my card. I hope you liked it. It's a bit of fun. I actually have my brother in mind for this one. It's he's a builder and it's his birthday. It's actually going to be a belated birthday because his birthday was yesterday. So better late than never, right? But this is what I'm thinking of for him. And I really hope that you enjoy all the cards we have for you this month with the textured theme. We have lots of others. If you go down to the description below this video, you'll see who's next in the hop to go and watch. And I hope you learn lots of things about texture today and add texture to your cards too. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.